So we got the friend zone video out the way, so I don't need to discuss the friend zone heavy in this video. If you want to know what I think of the friend zone, how you should stay out of it, and all those things, go watch that video. What this video is about is just about the dynamics of actual male and female friendships that exist, especially where the guy is not attracted to the woman, and even some of the benefits you could have that are not talked about. Also the cons, and probably a little bit more. But before we get into it, please put a like on the vid. Oh yeah, and we're also going to talk about the differences as far as man-to-man friendship and woman-to-woman friendship and things of that nature. So I don't know. This might be a doozy, but we'll find out. Now, listen, I want you to understand that the context that I'm talking about throughout this vid is for having a female friend that you are not sexually attracted to. Meaning, if she threw you the coochie, you're not going to pick it up off the floor. Period, point blank. And I already went over that in the friend zone video in crazy detail, but listen, you would be compelled to have sex with her. We're not talking about that type of relationship. So I want to get to one of the first benefits, which you actually get an inside look at the female perspective in a way that you're not going to get on the internet and everywhere else, because you can actually see what's going on. You can see the people, the people as far as the players and what's going on. You know what this person has going on. You know what they got going on as far as the woman and the man. You know what it is. And you begin to see the inside of actual relationships once they get comfortable enough to talk to you about the relationships. Now, when it comes down to it, in a lot of cases, you don't even have to actually be friends with this person to talk to them in a one-on-one situation. If you were in a group setting and this chick just likes to talk about her relationship and stuff like that, you could get that type of insight in a group setting as well. But typically it has to be with people she trusts, and you have to be one of the people that she trusts and things of that nature. A lot of the insight that I've gotten that has helped build me to where my understanding is today is through me seeing how these chicks move, through talking to them about other dudes and stuff like that. Now, that might sound ridiculous to you. You might think, oh man, you could pick that up on the... Listen, I'll give you one example. I can't give you the 100% real example because people be clocking my moves, and if this ever go anywhere, whatever. You should get it. You should read between the lines. But let's pretend we're talking about a top tier professional athlete, right? A top tier professional athlete. Somebody that is like a James Harden level athlete, right? They got a crazy bag, right? What I have seen is I have witnessed a chick's love life and progression in the love life. I've seen, and I probably mentioned this on the channel before in another video, I'm not sure, but I've seen her deal with a bum with no money and complain about it on a constant basis. Kind of abusive, right? Then she bragged about turning down a professional athlete, peak pinnacle, right? Then after that, after all of that, she then got with another bum who was abusive. Where on the internet are you going to see that play out? Just really think about that, because you're probably consuming these videos. These types of videos, as far as like Red Pill or any men's space or anything, like, all they're going to do is react to videos of chicks capping, basically, and just point out the cap. Chicks being candid, but they're not going to be 100% like, transparent, raw, and detailed about their situations and stuff like that. You might even have some whole podcasts and stuff like that. What are they going to do? You got the one chick who was out here who said she laid down and 7 of the Suns players, peed on her or whatever. That's the type of stuff you're going to see. You're not going to see what I just painted, that picture that I just painted. Bum turning down a baller and then bum. You're not going to see that pattern unless you're on the inside and unless you know this stuff. And that is why, there's benefit in having those interactions with women, because this is the thing. These guys tell you all this stuff all over the internet about how you have to become a high value man. You got to become the pinnacle of man. Listen, I just told you I seen a chick. And this is actually, when I really think about it, I know multiple chicks who have turned down professional athletes who make millions of dollars. Multiple. Now, I'm not going to say all of them, like, resort to bums in every situation and they all just are bum lovers and stuff like that. But after you see this happen, it's like, yo, like, money is not the end all be all. It's not the pinnacle. Now, that's just one example, because I could keep going in on that, but that's just one example. That's the type of insight that you get when you are on the inside and you hear this stuff coming from a chick's mouth and stuff like that. You won't have that type of insight. And that type of insight, again, it let me know that money is not the end all be all, but also a lot of chicks like broke dudes. And so it's not just one occurrence of this, but it's seeing multiple occurrences of these things that really painted that picture. So that's one of the first benefits. Now, in the last video, I said I was going to contradict myself when it came to the talking to women, and I'll tell you what I meant exactly about other dudes. I said that if a chick tries to talk to you about another guy that she is romantically involved with, that she is sexually involved with, or anything like that, shut it down. Now, the reason that that contradiction is there is because in that video, I was talking about the friend zone. So that's the first thing. In this situation, this is somebody you're not attracted to, and it's somebody you could actually have a friendship with. So that's the first thing. That encompasses the whole first thing. There's a big difference between that. There's a big difference between a chick that you want to bone telling you about the dude she's boning versus you talking to a chick that you have no attraction to and her telling you about the guy she's boning. But this is the second thing as far as, the whole contradiction and why it's there. It depends where you were at in your journey and understanding. This is why I have insight that a lot of these other guys on the internet don't have, and they are not kicking to you or nothing like that. You haven't heard many people say, you could get insight like that. You haven't heard many people say it. Honestly, I can't recall one, if I'm being 100% honest with you. And this is a deal. If you were in a place where you feel like you could benefit from some insight, then actually talk to them, see what you can extract and stuff like that. But if you're in a place where you feel like you're above that or anything like that, if you feel like you have all the insight that you need, then you're good. You're good. This helped me when I was young. It even helped me into my mid-20s, late 20s, possibly even. I'm pretty good now. It's at the point where all of the things that I see or could possibly see, I've already seen. Honestly, I've seen everything for the most part. And that might sound arrogant or ignorant or something like that. But like, listen, when I hear chicks talk, what are they going to talk about? They're going to talk about the problems that they are having with their guys. And it really boils down to a few things. Even then, when you look at the history that a chick has and stuff like that, you get to see what type of dude she dates. A lot of it be the same archetypes and certain stuff. So I've gotten everything that I could get. That's just me being real about my experience. The one thing that you don't want to do is become her pillow that she cries into and lets her emotions out on and stuff like that. If you were doing that, there has to be some benefit for you. That's just me being real, because no guy really wants to be that for somebody that's not their sister or their wife or girlfriend. You either have to be family, or we got to be fucking, or we got to be married. It's got to be something like that, because outside of that, it just came for the coochie. Let's get to the next one. Now, one of the second benefits is very simple. The woman that you are friends with, especially if you're not attracted to her, especially if you have low attraction, especially if you don't care about risking it, she can put you on with other women. Wow. Nobody talks about that. Nobody gets on these, spaces and tell you, yo, you could have a chick that's going to actually put you on with other chicks. That's actually going to say, yo, this is my man, and put you in there. Make it easy for you. Make it so you don't even have to do a cold approach or nothing. These cats, oh man, social circle game is tough because shit, I've been lame forever, and shit, why would I teach you to be a cool guy and just shit? Go out and do 80 cold approaches so you can get your no. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. If you got a chick that you are cool with, you could ask her to put you on with a chick that you see her with. You could ask her to put you on with one of her friends. You could ask to set up a blind date. It's very simple, bro. I don't got to go in on this one. That is another benefit you could get. Now, outside of that, and genuinely enjoying the chick's presence, she's got to have like a good personality and stuff like that to where y'all really vibe. Y'all got to relate on certain levels when it comes to certain things, of course, because that's the foundation of any friendship if it's a real friendship. Outside of that, and like the real stuff, like the things I just mentioned, the glue of the friendship, like I don't really see too many benefits. So we're going to get to some of the differences in how men and women work. And I've talked about this in another video, but we got to get to it. Now, the reason I even mention benefits is because of this reason right here. When it comes to men and women being friends, it's just not pure. When it comes to even women and women being friends, in a lot of cases, it's not pure. When it comes to men being friends with men, in most cases, it's pure. Let me elaborate. When you are a man and you have another man as a friend, you're typically going to meet through some type of common ground, whether it be work or school or whatever. And without going deep on how that friendship is established, one of the things that's going to be there is common ground. You guys are going to relate on different levels. You're going to be into some of the same activities, some of the same hobbies. You're going to have some of the same interests. When you guys come together, you're going to come together on the common basis, on that common ground as far as what it is, whether it be you both like to play basketball or you both do videography or even something as simple as y'all both like to party and y'all both like girls and stuff like whatever there's going to be different common grounds that you guys are going to discuss when you guys link up and talk or whatever. And you don't have to link up to play basketball, but y'all could just go to TGI Fridays and that's going to be some of the stuff that y'all relate on. There's also going to be a bond there to where y'all could talk about y'all personal life. And it just is what it is. Y'all just listen, and if the other person wants advice, it is what it is. And y'all just keep it moving and stuff like that. This is why it's pure. This is why it's pure. Again, I said it in the other video. I'll say it again. There's no ulterior motive. There's nothing you want other than this guy's company. There's nothing other that you want other than the companionship that you and him have. Just to share that energy and communicate. That's it. Now, there are some weird guys who will try, they actually do want something from you, and they try to manipulate and establish your friendship just to get what they want. But that doesn't last long. That is not a long-term strategy. That's why I never really believed in networking or no weird shit like that. That's just me being honest. But we're going to continue. When it comes to women, it's possible for them to have that same purity going on. So I don't want you to think that that's something that is exclusive to men. But there is a big difference when it comes to women in their typical subject matter when they talk to each other. You know what that difference is? They love to talk about people. They love to talk about gossip and events and things of that nature. That is one of the foundations of how they communicate with each other friendship-wise. They like to talk about what's going on in their school, in the hospital that they work at, in their area as far as their city or whatever, what's going on a club scene with people and stuff like that. Think about the salon and think about the barbershop and think about the differences. When you go to the barbershop, dudes are mostly talking about, oh man, yeah, Kenny Lofton, home run, all that type of stuff. They talking about sports stuff. They talking about Just real general stuff. When it comes to women, they are talking about Sharonda, getting beat up, or, Taquisha is having problems with her baby dad, and her baby dad is actually fucking LaShonda. That is one of the biggest differences as far as women to woman relationships and men to men relationships. Now, I'm not, and excuse me when I say this, but I'm not saying that men don't do this at all. Men definitely do it. But when they do it to a certain extent, other men look at them like bitch ass niggas. It's that simple. This type of activity is not shunned by women at all. They openly engage in this type of behavior all the time. But we don't stop there. We don't stop there. You want to know another thing about female to female friendship versus male to male friendship that is different? They're more superficial. Wow, what a surprise, because, they're superficial with men, but you wouldn't think they would be superficial with each other. But they are. When it comes down to birthdays, they got to have the big extravagant birthday dinner. Women make a tremendous deal out of their birthday, even sometimes out of holidays and stuff like that. And they want the other women to spend that money on them and stuff like that. And they'll spend money on other women and stuff like that. And they just want to go and celebrate. They just want some monumental shit for their birthday. And to them, me saying that's superficial is ridiculous. Because when it comes to men, and this is what the chick said in the other video, we sometimes don't even know each other's birthdays. And guess what? We don't have any problem with that. We don't have any problem with that. And the reason is because when it comes to women, they have a lot of solipsism. They think the universe revolves around them. So when a chick doesn't know another chick's birthday, that is just, oh man, means for termination of the friendship. When it comes to a guy, they understand they are not the center of the universe because nobody throughout their life has told them they were the center of the universe. It just never happens. They've never been treated like they were the center of the universe. It never happens. They didn't get a crown at their 16th birthday. It just didn't happen. So I could keep going, but we'll just stop there with the things that I already mentioned. So when it comes down to it, so we'll just wrap this portion up right here and just say, you hear everything that I said about the differences between men and women. Even their friendships with each other are not really pure. And it gets deeper than what I mentioned. So now that brings us to the final part, which is, why are male to female friendships not real? Why are they not pure? Now, we already got all the friend zone shit out the way. We got all of the sexual stuff out the way. So all of that is out the way. When it comes down to it, in these situations where it's a man and a woman and stuff like that, we don't friend the same. We don't friend the same. So you could have 8, 12, 19 male friends. They are going to require something different than your female friends. And as a guy, that is something you have to know, or you will find out the hard way, especially if you value the friendship. When she wants to put on a money bowl for her birthday and you give her $38, you give her $50, you give her $10, whatever you give her to put in that money bowl or whatever she's doing, you give her the money for her birthday and stuff like that. That is standard. You're going to notice everybody else around her is doing that. They are all feeding into this shit. And a birthday is just one example. When it's time for her to move, you will be over there lifting the dressers and stuff like that. When she's going through stuff in her life, she's going to cry to you. Now, I could keep going, but let's just go over those things that I mentioned. When your birthday comes around, are you going to be wearing a money bow? No, because that's not who you are. So what's going to happen? Sometimes you'll get nothing. Sometimes you will get absolutely nothing. You might not even get a phone call or a text. It just might not happen. And as a dude, You're cool with that. And guess what? Your other friends, your male friends, they've never had the crown on their birthday. They've never had the money flower. They've never, because they're not women. We just work different. But at the end of the day, the reciprocation is not going to be there on that. But let's go to the other thing. You help her move and stuff like that. When it's time for you to move, you not even consider calling her to carry the boxes, because that's not what women do. That's not what women do. And even if you were to call 9 times out of 10, she's not going to sign up for that, dog. And you can't really blame her, because that's not what she's supposed to do. So she can't reciprocate on that level. So you still getting the masculine benefit. But then let's go to the last one. You ready for the last one? When she is venting to you, you taking it in, you soaking it in, you're being real empathetic and stuff like that. She's emotionally distraught about whatever is going on in her life. You're being there for her. If you were a guy, you understand when it comes to a woman, especially a chick that you're interested in, you can't really be too vulnerable. You can't be too emotional. You can't vent too much, because that's going to kill the attraction. She's going to resent your presence. Guess what? That also applies to your female friends as a man. Now, we could even get deeper and be honest. Even in a lot of cases, men can't even vent to other men. Men ain't even trying to hear that shit. So you got to go in your car and talk to yourself and shit. You got to go and get a therapist, whatever you got to do, because nobody wants to hear your fucking problems. We could get that deep, but we're not going to get that deep today. The only point I needed to make there is when you were going through something, and it's time for you to speak. It's time for you to let the shit out. You can sense that she don't want to hear that shit. You'll be able to sense that she is annoyed. What will she do if you do this too much? She will start to offer advice and solutions in the middle of you talking. You can't even vent. You can't even just let it off. Even if you do vent, even if the moment you get done, she is trying to change. She got the topic. She got the next topic loaded up already, because she did not get on the phone or come over your crib for this shit here, dog. And this is just real. So the picture that I'm painting, as far as why it's not pure, as far as why the friendship is not pure, is because it's not a reciprocal relationship. It's not really going to be a reciprocal relationship in the way a male to male friendship is going to be reciprocal. The bar for what men require from other men is extremely low. The bar of what a woman requires from a man in any situation, in any relationship she have, is going to be higher than whatever another man requires. That's just what it is. Now, when you mix that with the stuff that I said in the friend zone video, being a woman's friend, like a true friend and stuff like that, it's not the best move. It's not going to be very beneficial. Even though I listed 2 benefits at the top of the video, at the end of the day, you have to know what to expect, because trust me, in certain situations, I didn't. And I found out, and that's what it is. Now, listen, I don't just get on the internet and kick this shit. I kick this shit in real life. A lot of people will say that I'm wrong and stuff like that, but I got one more for you. I got one more thing that I forgot, but I'm so glad I just remembered it. Listen, being friends with a woman that you smash, it's not a real friendship either. It's not a real friendship. It's not pure. Y'all already smashed. Think about this as a guy. You as a guy, you. If you had a woman and you fell head over heels for this woman, and you guys are locked in, you ready to get down on one knee and stuff like that. But she got this one male friend, and he is not gay. And he was tearing her guts up before y'all met. You have no, she either tell you or she don't tell you, whatever the case is. You know, you get married and she still want to go and kick it with this dude. She still want to be on the phone with this. She's still giving her energy, her time, and even her presence to this guy that she had sex with and stuff like that. How would you feel about that? As a guy that is providing for this woman, investing into this woman, committing to this woman, you know, giving her your love and all of that shit, all of that magical shit. How would you feel if your woman was still communicating with somebody that used to be digging her guts out? How cool is you and that guy? Do you even want to talk to the dude? Like, just imagine this for a second. Like, you might even want to pause the video. Just imagine it. And to me, it go like this. If we going to be players, then let's keep it player. If we going to keep it player, we might go on dates. We smashing. You going to have your other dudes. I'm going to have my other women. I might come spend the night over your crib. You come spend the night over my crib. But we don't get attached and that's it. But if I'm trying to lock in with you, if we really trying to be serious, if we really trying to establish something real, shouldn't no dude that you've been having sex with or that you had sex with have no access to you while I'm with you? That's just the real. You could say it's insecure. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck how funny he is. I don't care how good of a friend he is or none of that shit. At the end of the day, the truth is that's a threat. Nobody's going to say it. Nobody's going to say it. And even you, oh, you insecure. Listen, that's something somebody should be insecure about. Why the fuck should I be secure about you spending time with a nigga you fucked before? That's stupid. That's stupid. And all that is manipulation. We're not going to go deep on that. And even as a guy, let's say you were the friend of that chick. Would you be hurt if that chick that you was smashing, that you were such good friends and had so many laughs with, would you be hurt if she got another guy and cut you off? That could really go either way. It could either go, psh, cop and blow. I got more hoes. I ain't tripping on that. I ain't tripping on that. We wasn't that good of friends anyway. It could go that way or it could go damn. Shorty really was a vibe. Shorty really was a vibe. And what do that mean? That mean, oh man, I like keeping her around and all that good stuff. We really vibe. And Cass is going to tell you like, oh man, I would never have sex with her again. Listen, I don't know if this goes on in the white community and stuff like that. Everybody in the black community has seen a player that be friends with a chick and the chick be like, you know, she be lower value than him type shit. And you'd be like, oh no, we just friends. It's my best friend. It's my bestie. Bruh, she be sucking that cock. She be sucking that man cock. And we be knowing it. We be knowing it, but they not going to admit it. But listen, the reason that shit is not real is the same reason when it comes to the friend zone relationships, they not real because sex. That's it. At the end of the day, if it came down to it, you hit it before, you'll hit it again, man. Stop bullshit, man. I'm not even dwelling on that or like continuing to spin the wheel on that. This completes the vid. I hope you got some insight from it, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.